In this nugget, we will look at the poem A Poison Tree by William Blake. The focus of this nugget is to summarize the poem and make sure you understand what the poem is about. A Poison Tree is a poem about hate and anger. In this poem, William Blake tells the reader how important it is to be honest about one's emotions. The narrator of the poem is a very hateful man or woman. He is angry with his enemy and keeps his anger locked up inside. But his anger grows until one day his anger kills his enemy. Here is the full poem. Let's read it together. As you listen, pay attention to any rhyme scheme, rhythm, or tone. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles, and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Let's go through stanza 1 and make sure you understand it. First, we will go through the vocabulary. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. Now, wrath is a very important word in this poem, and it means anger. I was angry with my foe, and foe means enemy. I told it not, my wrath did grow. Now let's make sure we understand the meaning here. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. These lines mean that the narrator is angry with a friend, but when he tells his friend, the anger goes away. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. Here, the narrator is also angry with an enemy, but in this case he says nothing, so the anger grows and grows inside him. Let's go through stanza 2. And I watered it in fears. Watered here is watered, so the apostrophe is just because of the missing E. Night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles, and here the phrase means to pretend to be cheerful and bright, like the sun. And with soft, deceitful wiles. Deceitful means dishonest or sly, and wiles means cunning plans. Let's go through the meaning. And I watered it in fears. So the narrator describes how he watered or fed his anger. He cried tears of either rage or sadness, and it is unclear which emotion causes his tears in the poem. Night and morning with my tears. So here his anger is constant. Every night and every morning, his anger and frustration is still there. It never disappears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. However, he did not show or reveal his anger. On the outside, he, the narrator, pretended to be happy by smiling at his foe. He became quite skilled and cunning at deceiving his enemy. There is no glossary here, as any difficult words such as foe have already been explained. So let's go straight to the meaning of the stanza. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. The narrator describes how his anger grew until one day it bore fruit. The narrator uses the image of a growing tree as a metaphor for his growing anger. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. His enemy sees the beautiful apple that has grown and becomes jealous. He wants to take the apple that belongs to the narrator. Let's go through stanza 4 for vocabulary. And into my garden stole, and here it doesn't mean to steal something, it means to sneak. So stole is the past tense of sneak, snuck. When the night had veiled the pole means covered up the pole stars. In other words, it was a very dark night. In the morning, glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. And outstretched, again, we have the apostrophe for the missing E, outstretched. Let's go through this for meaning. And into my garden stole when the night had veiled the pole. These lines mean that at night, when it is completely dark, the enemy sneaks into the narrator's garden and steals his apple. However, the enemy did not realize that the apple was poisonous. After eating the apple, the enemy dies, and we know this from the final two lines. In the morning, glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. So in the morning, the narrator is happy or glad to discover that his enemy lies dead beneath the apple tree.